This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Acer Iconia Tab A510. Yet another long name tablet, but this one's actually pretty cool. It's fairly reasonably priced, as you expect from Acer. It's $449 for the 32 gig, but it has an NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core CPU, or technically 5-core CPU because it has a companion core in it, and it's actually a really nice tablet for the money. We're going to take a look at it now. What a pleasant surprise the Acer Iconia Tab A510 is. And lately we've been seeing yet another dual-core Android tablet here. You're still running Honeycomb, that kind of thing. And here we have something that's, well, pretty cutting edge. And generally look at Acer as kind of the budget brand on the block when it comes to Android tablets. But this time they've really done a very nice job. For $449 you get 32 gigs of storage, that NVIDIA Tegra 3 CPU nominally clocked at 1.3 gigahertz. Now really, because the clock speed changes depending on how many cores are active, the manufacturers are all kind of picking different clock speeds that they quote, but it benchmarks the same as the Asus ePad Transformer Prime to let you know. It's basically running the exact same CPU, doing the exact same stuff. And it ships with Android OS 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. Out of the box, you don't have to wait, you don't have to upgrade it, it's just pre-installed, that's what it is. Pretty cool stuff there. You've got your usual 10.1-inch display here, and it's a nice quality display. It's good to see that Acer has actually picked up the game there. The A500 had a pretty mediocre display, and with the A200 we saw it pick up some, and this one has really very nice colors, good sharp contrast, nice viewing angles. Not a bad display at all. It's running at the usual 1280 by 800 resolution. And of course it has accelerated graphics thanks to the Tegra 3 CPU with companion GPU. The tablet weighs 1.5 pounds and it's 0.43 inches thick, so that's not too thick, but though this is probably one of the more stylish tablets that Acer has made, you know how Iconias are. They don't look as thin as they are, which is a funny thing. It's not a bad looking tablet, but not one of those, wow, you look at it and say, wow, super thin, super cool. Let's take a look around. So here's the side view, and it has a distinctive kind of Acer look, this little metal trim kind of thing going on here, actually made of plastic as far as I can tell. And right here is your micro HDMI port, and under this door here, a little bit more stylish than some of the previous tablets they've made, we've got access to the micro SD card slot. And if this had 3G or 4G, the SIM card slot would be there too. This filled in, so you actually can't use it. And here's our micro SD card slot. Now on the other side, here's our combo 3.5mm stereo headphone jack. This is your power button, and when it's charging, this lights up. If it's pretty low, it's red, then it goes to amber, and then it goes to green when it's fully charged. Up top here we've got the volume controls, and they're marked with two little stipples on this end and one on this end, so you can tell which is which. The double stipples are making it lower, this one makes it higher, so by feel you can get a clue there. The screen orientation lock slider is here. And on the bottom we have stereo speakers. There's one here, one here. Good physical separation obviously, so that really helps with sound. And Acer, again, they've really improved the speakers. We weren't too impressed with the speakers on the A100. Even the A200 was an improvement, but these are really good. Very loud, nice, full and clear. Got a little reset hole here. And this is a micro USB port that has a slightly odd shape, and that's because they've got a new charger. I'll show that to you. Here's the new charger, not the same ugly wall wart. Now we've got one of those glossy black things that's pretty popular, but this is 12 volt, 1.5 amps. So to make sure that you don't go plugging this into a 5 volt device and fry it, they've made it a little bit different. The connector here, it's probably hard to see on a video, but that's why the shape on the bottom for the micro USB port is different, so it can accommodate both normal micro USB port devices and this charger. And speaking of micro USB, another neat thing is in the box they give you a USB host cable. Now you usually have to go hunting to find one of these guys, and it's not so easy. So with this, you plug this into the micro USB port on the bottom of the tablet, and then you've got a regular standard USB port here, so you can use USB game controllers, keyboards, mice, hard drives, flash drives, they all work. And in fact, we tested it with both flash drives and portable hard drives, and it works, and we'll show you that in action. Now to see that USB host cable in action, we've got it plugged in on the bottom here. And the one thing that's a little bit annoying about this is because it does plug in the bottom. If you're using a stand or something like that, you've got to get one that has enough clearance to allow for this connector here. But that said, I'm going to 4 gig flash drive here, formatted FAT32, that should work pretty easily. And the light on the drive is flashing. And we can see a little USB icon has appeared here to tell us that we've inserted that. And we take a look at Astro File Manager, which is actually included. It does a fairly good job of making accessing your stuff intuitive. You can see right here we have USB storage. And there's all of our stuff. Say we want to open up that Word document. There it is. And next we'll go through something a little bit more challenging. We have an unpowered USB portable hard drive. This is a 500 gig Western digital drive, and it's formatted NTFS. Now NTFS can be a problem for a lot of tablets, so we'll see if it has support for NTFS. And the drive is powering up. You can hear it hum. A little LED has come on, and here it says preparing USB storage. And we'll go back to Astro and take a look. And there is indeed all the stuff on our hard drive, no problem. Got a lot of music on this one. And so we're playing music right off the hard drive. So that's one thing that Acer has always done well, supporting USB host and removable mass storage. As you can see, that works very nicely. And again, you can also do, like I said, keyboards, mice, and other input kind of peripherals, game controllers, and we'll show you game controller in action with some cool games on this later. The tablet has Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN single band, and it works well in our test. We have very good throughput and very good range for a tablet with this. For those of you who tried the Transformer Prime or are a little leery of that and worried about Wi-Fi and GPS issues, I can tell you that we got none of that going on here. Wi-Fi works great, and it has a GPS, and we actually installed a couple of GPS test applications and took this guy out on the road far away from Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi turned off, and it had no trouble acquiring satellites. Even indoors we managed to get a 3D fix, and outdoors we managed to get a fix on 12 satellites. Now, of course, this model does not have 3G, so if you need to download map data on the go from Google Maps, you're going to need to use your smartphone's mobile hotspot feature or something like that, or preload maps, otherwise if you want to use this as a GPS standalone in your car, that kind of thing. But indeed, yes, GPS works. Also has Bluetooth 2.1 plus EDR, and we have a front video chat camera, 2 megapixel, and we have a rear 5 megapixel camera with no flash. And as you'd expect of a tablet, it takes okay photos and videos, nothing that you're really going to be framing anytime soon, but it certainly is better than nothing. And the front video chat camera is handy with Skype. Now, Acer also didn't have the best input for the microphones on some of the previous tablets. This one works pretty well. Even using the voice recorder app, we got some pretty good quality stuff, a little bit flangy sounding sometimes, but certainly an improvement and good enough now for video chat. And you can use a headset if you want to. And the tablet has 32 gigs of storage. You can expand that with the micro SD card slot, and anything you can plug into that USB port as well. It has a gig of RAM, which is standard for Android tablets. Ice Cream Sandwich 4.03 is on board. That's how it ships, with just very light customizations from Acer. You know, they like that Acer ring thing, and we've got that here, and that's... You tap that, and you can assign which applications are here, so you can quickly access some of your favorite apps, and you've got your scrollable list of bookmarks for the built-in Android web browser there as well. So that's about it for their UI customizations. You can see we've got their clock with weather and a little calendar thing going on here. They have a weather widget as well. Not too much stuff going on here in terms of customization, and that's just fine. Usually with tablets we don't see a whole lot of UI customization going on. Tablet is very fast. This is a Tegra 3 again, quad core with that 5th companion low power core. And it's the same T30S CPU that's using the Transformer Prime, so you're looking at good stuff right here. Benchmarks pretty much identically to the Prime. 3800 on the quadrant test, which is exactly what our Prime scored. Got near 10,000 on the Antutu benchmark, and it did very well with GL Benchmark 2.1 tests. The off-screen Egypt test was 59 FIPS, and the GL Benchmark 2.1 Pro standard test was 60 FIPS, so you're talking good stuff here. Again, neck and neck with the Prime, actually slightly higher 2D and 3D scores according to Quadrant, but pretty close overall. Very capable, and none of the problems that we've seen with playing video that we had with the original A500, one of the first Android honeycomb tablets ever. This guy can play 1080p video, no problem. Of course, you're only looking at a 720p screen here, but you can use that micro HDMI out, and we tested a movie trailer that was a high-quality MPEG-4 movie trailer, 1080p, high profile, and it had Dolby 5.1 audio. We plugged the HDMI cable into our Sony receiver, and lo and behold, we actually got 5.1 output. It was really very cool, and that's something that I actually have never gotten to work on my Prime. It has kind of flaky, picky HDMI out. So it's really nice when things just work. In terms of additional software that's loaded on here, well, I've got a bunch of my own apps on here, but you've got the Acer print application that works with network printers too. It was actually able to discover our network printer. Looks like it only supports HP PCL and PostScript printers though, which our printer was not, so we couldn't actually print to it. But it doesn't require Windows printer sharing or anything like that. It will actually find a network printer, which is kind of cool. You've got their AOPO, however you pronounce that. Solitaire game, Amazon MP3 and Amazon App Store are preloaded also. All the standard Google apps are here. Google Play Books, Google Play Music, the Google Play Store, all that stuff's on board. You've got a voice recorder, you have SoundHound for IDing music. Zinio is preloaded as well for viewing magazines. Very pleasant application to use. Really, magazines look as pretty as they do on print. It works well on this. And we've got Virus Scan for those of you who are worried about viruses. They also include the full version of Polaris Office for tablets, which really has a very nice UI. So you can view, create, and edit documents here. And this is the opening screen. Very nice layout. So you can start with an empty document, letter, manual, official document. They give you various templates here. You've got access to cloud storage, and that uses box.net, obviously local storage, anything you've got stored on your internal storage or micro SD card, what have you, that kind of thing. And just to show you how it looks, we've just picked one. There's standard templates for a manual, which also looks like it could be a very good stand-in for a cookbook. So it does some pretty fancy stuff here. We're not talking just your basic text editor, which is very nice. And if you're looking at spreadsheets, we've got various templates here for charts, standard spreadsheets, all that kind of thing. And then you've got PowerPoint-style presentations as well. So well done. In terms of applications that are available for Android tablets get a bum rap. You know, there's a lot of good apps out there. You can see that we've got Netflix installed, which works just perfectly. Adobe Reader's on board. We've got Pulse, News 360, TV.com for watching TV shows online. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this. Obviously, a bunch of good games now, Dead Space, GTA 3, all of that kind of stuff. So, yep, there's plenty that you can do with this tablet, no problem whatsoever. And we've also got the standard Android WebKit web browser on board here. You can download Chrome as well, which is a lot like Chrome for the desktop, but I find that Chrome makes a big difference on Android phones, and it's not so much superior to the built-in web browser on the tablets. So anyway, here we are. You can see displaying our website just fine with, it's not entertaining, Radio Shack banner ad at the bottom. Handles that banner, no problem. Pinch zooming to the max, it even zooms the layover ad at the bottom. Quick and fast. And let's take a look at a Adobe Flash video. Adobe Flash is not pre-installed, but you can download it for free from the Google Play Market. Scrolls fine, very readable. Nice text presentation. Again, 1280 by 800, your standard resolution for most Android tablets here. Let's watch our Nokia Lumia video. This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at a pretty hot phone. This is the Nokia Lumia 900. There's no problem, as it should, for a quad-core Tegra 3 machine.
It runs Windows Phone 7.5 Mango. It has a 4.3 LTE. That's just a pretty hot, beautiful looking polycarbonate.
And there we are at full screen, also looking good for 80p. So no problem. So pretty much it can handle anything. I mean, you've got currently what's the fastest CPU available in a tablet right here. So we're going to check out some 1080p video playback. This is high profile 1080p video. This one is in stereo. Since we don't have our Dolby system plugged in right now via HDMI, no need to go with that one, but it plays fine on device as well.
You were made to be ruled.
The speaker is pretty good. Let me see, we're just a little over halfway volume here, and that's pretty loud already, and reasonably full for a mobile device.
Man for himself.
So there's your 1080p playback on the Acer Iconia Tab A510.
We get ready.
And I have to say the display is actually pretty nice. I used this to watch a couple of movies last night, and very pleasant experience. Not as sharp and high contrast as the Asus ePad Transformer Prime with its super IPS display. I'll give you that though, but nonetheless, this is a pretty nice display. Acer scores a big win here with battery life because they have a 9800 milliamp battery here. That's absolutely huge. So we forgive it for being, well, not like anorexically thin or anything like that, because they claim you can go for up to 15 hours. Now, you know, manufacturers' claims are optimistic, but so far we're having a hard time killing the battery on this. I was playing some pretty demanding games like Riptide last night on this, and I played for about an hour and I lost about 10% of battery life. That's pretty amazing for gaming. So in terms of a long-lasting tablet, especially given how fast it is, boy, this is it. It's pretty impressive. Stability so far has been pretty good. Ice Cream Sandwich is not out on many devices yet, so we know they're still probably ironing out some of those kinks there, but so far it's been pretty stable. The only thing we found a little bit bulky was the Shadowgun THD, which is the Tegra 3 optimized version of the game, go figure. And mostly that was in the initial setup controls. We were tapping buttons to get into the game. Once you were in the game, it actually played just fine. And speaking of gaming, we're going to show you some fun with not just Shadowgun THD, but also Grand Theft Auto 3, and we're going to be using a USB game controller. Now you can also use a wireless controller like the one that GameStop makes if you just want to use a Bluetooth controller and go cord free. And you can also do on-live gaming. We have a video that we posted of the previous Acer Iconia playing on-live games along with the Asus ePad Transformer Prime, and for those of you who don't know what that is, the online service is basically a server that plays the latest, greatest games for you, and you're just streaming it to the device as a client. So you've got full control over it, but you don't need to have the most killer quad-core desktop computer out there to play games anymore. You can actually use their servers to do the hard work for you and just enjoy it right here on this mobile device. And here we are in Grand Theft Auto 3, and we're using the included USB host cable right over here and our Xbox wired controller to play the game. Now obviously this has a Tegra 3, it's more than capable of playing games. We're going to check it out so you can see how it works with the controller.
This is the place right here. Let's get off the street and find a danger close. I gotta go on vacation.
Favorite commercials. Great music, too. Excuse me? You're listening to Lips 106. 106.
You're tuned to Lip.
This is Luigi's Club. Let's go around the back and use the service door. What's the dealio?
Still fam right here, Game Radio, Liberty City, where the players play and the pimpers pimp and the hustlers hustle on, y'all. You're gonna hear the finest in hip-hop music right here on Game Radio.
And now we're in Shadowgun THD. This is the expansion pack that's for Tegra 3 devices, so you get more details and more cool effects on screen. So we're going to check out gameplay now. And once again, we're using our USB Xbox wired controller to play the game.
That's him.
So that's the Acer Iconia Tab A510. It's available now. It's already on Amazon. It's $449 for the 32 gig, which seems to be the only storage capacity currently offered. And because of the Olympics coming up, this is the Olympic edition, and that means you get the Olympic rings on the back. This is available in black, which is available now. It will be also available in silver. And I'm sure it'll start showing up at other stores like Best Buy. Fry's already has it in their listings, that kind of thing. So you should be able to get it. And generally, Acer tablets are easy to find at places like Walmart even. It's easy to give this one a recommend for $449. You get a pretty nice display on this. You get USB host that supports even things like NTFS external hard drives, a GPS that works well, Wi-Fi that works nicely as well. It has very long battery life. And while it might not be the most gorgeous tablet on the block, it's not bad looking either. And actually, I like the kind of rubbery coating on the back. It makes it easy to hold. So for $449, you get that Tegra 3, 32 gigs of storage, your usual gig of RAM, dual cameras, all the stuff you'd expect from an Android tablet. And again, it's the same CPU used in the Asus ePad Transformer Prime, which is a little bit faster than what you're going to get on the Asus Transformer TF300, which is the slightly budget cousin to the Prime that's supposed to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And also, lovely is the fact that you get Android OS 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich pre-installed from the get-go. No downloads, no upgrades, no waiting, no nothing like that. It's here right now, ready for you. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website for the full review of the Iconia Tab A510, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.